So this incident happened in somewhere in 2015 when I was at the Powai store. Like I was handling the store खुद से.
Right.
And I had a bunch of people coming in, and they tried our fruit ice cream. They had the guava ice cream. At that time there was like it was just the guava ice cream.
Right.
एंड दे वर जस्ट कन्वर्सिंग. अरे बचपन का याद है अपन नानी के घर जाते थे और वो गुआवा वाला पेरू वाला आता था, काट के अपने के ऊपर मसाला वसाला डाल के देता था, क्या मज़ा आता ना. गुआवा ग्लोरी बिकेम, आई थिंक probably it was not even in the top 10. It became our best selling flavor, and from then till now I think almost every customer is a fan of Apsara का guava glory.
Hi and welcome to the post-pandemic version of the Conversations Cafe. Ideally, we would have liked to have done this with a room full of young, eager minds wanting to learn marketing. Today, I have with me Kiran Shah. He is an IIM Lucknow alumnus and the managing director at Apsara Ice Creams. He also went to PNG after his campus interviews and worked in the Asian region for almost 5 years. And I'm really excited to meet him and discuss a lot of things about his career journey, about the world of marketing. This is all in preparation for our annual marketing festival. Kiran is going to be doing a session with us during the marketing festival. Some of you might even get the opportunity to work on a project with Kiran himself. So I would really request you to sign up for our marketing festival. So let's dive right in. You were actually running a retail store on the IIM Lucknow campus. It's a great segue for our conversation today. So why don't you tell me something about that? It was also one of the things that you wrote about as a writer on Inside IIM. So tell us about that particular venture on campus and how is it helping you today in what you do?
So basically, right, I'm a गुज्जू. So 2 साल पढ़ने के लिए भेज तो दिया घर वालों ने, लेकिन बिना कुछ पैसे कमाए 2 साल वहाँ से निकलेंगे तो आत्मा को शांति नहीं मिलेगी, राइट. सो व्हाट हैपेंड वाज दैट,
सो मतलब तुमने कैंपस पे भी पैसा बनाया?
बनाने की कोशिश तो की, अभी भी कुछ उधार बाकी है सेकेंड ईयर वालों से, वो बाद में वसूली करेंगे. थैंक्स फॉर रिमाइंडिंग. सो अ फ्यू सीनियर्स वर एक्चुअली इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ सेटिंग अप समथिंग इन द कैंपस. सो वो लोग जाते जाते उनका 1 या 2 महीना बाकी था. वो टाइम पे दे स्टार्टेड अ स्मॉल कैफ़े विच वॉज बेसिकली जस्ट अबाउट सेलिंग टी. Chai is a commodity which is very ubiquitous, and almost everybody at IIM has used that, and probably several liters during a day, to keep them going. So they set up this around this, and they ran it for a month, and they were then looking for someone from the next batch to take it forward. Of course, so me and some friends, we put our proposal to them, had some discussions, had some conversations about how we can take this further and keep this venture blooming. So we took it over from them, and then the 4 of us deep dive into actually में अभी इसको 1 साल हमको चलाना था, right? So we had a year in ahead of us, and we felt कि सिर्फ चाय से तो काम नहीं चलेगा. Let's explore some साथ में कुछ खाना पीना, some bitings. But of course the name at that time we had kept was just tea, right? So नाम रखा था, and there were around 40-50 varieties of tea which we were but eventually everybody used to come and have adrak wali chai along with all the professors, of course. So that's how it started. Throughout the year it was like a very good experience for me managing academics and a target audience of almost 800 people on campus, out of which I think almost 80 to 90% were just tea customers. So seeing them every day, hearing a lot of conversations, happening over chai about placements, about किस professor ने किसकी कैसे मारी. So I think that business taught a lot outside of the classroom as well. So I mean, it was a very good experience for me.
What part of your engineering helps you today, like connecting the dots backwards? Do you think anything that you did during your engineering or during Wipro days that currently you use in your business?
I think my wife is happy that I can fix a light bulb. But jokes apart, I mean, those were very technical and a lot of stuff which probably don't relate. But what I would feel is a takeaway and a plus that, you know, I keep telling myself that don't feel that those 4 years have been wasted, like not doing something which is relevant, is that the logic, the thinking process, you know, when you solve those problems, the engineering problems, and you come to know that eventually in life and in business there's going to be a lot of problem solving.
Right.
So that approach, working with a lot of variables, some variables which you can control, some variables which you cannot control. COVID is the biggest variable, biggest uncontrollable variable right now, and that's the reality. But you still have to manage your equation and get the output which you have been looking for. So Apsara ice creams, when we started, was we used to make ice cream with the traditional method of the sancha, where you put the wooden barrel and you fill it with salt and ice mixture. You just hand crank it for 3-4 hours, which has now been replaced for the past 2.5 years with a sophisticated slew of machines which have been imported from Italy. These are all semiconductor based, and there's a lot of microchips inside, a lot of programs, apps which are used to monitor the production. So a lot of that is kind of helpful. Plus, there is a lot of testing which goes on at the laboratory. We have milk testing, everything. So it takes me to flashback to the chemistry, lab period which we had when we used the litmus papers and the phenolphthalein and everything. So in a way, it's all coming back now. Probably not the entire part of it, but I think there are bits and pieces of it which are now useful in my business.
So anybody who's watching this, guys, just another example of how a lot of stuff that we do in our undergrad or in school is often helpful, because they are those fundamental formative years that help us, become what we are. Let's move to your avatar as a brand manager. So, you got into Procter & Gamble from campus. I think you did your summer internship at GSK, right? Yeah. So tell us about that entire phase of your life, and what all brands did you manage? Which all countries were you in charge of? So I'm really looking forward to listen to that.
I decided that I want to join or I want to have a career in marketing somewhere around the end of the first term itself. At IIM. The idea of joining the family business was always there. In fact, just at the end of the second year, before we were sitting for placements, I was actually out with my father and exploring locations where we could put up a potential ice cream plant in future.
Right.
And of course, then went back to campus, had the interviews, and the kind of CV which I had, CGPA was something which I was hoping nobody would look at. Thankfully, that is not something which is very important for a marketing role. So I got calls from two companies. One was P&G, other was I think it was Coca-Cola. So P&G happened first. Eventually, it panned out well. Got the offer and got the position as the global assistant brand manager in Singapore. Like, that was something which was very exciting, because I would be working hands-on in core marketing profiles from day one. So that is where P&G was slightly different from the other companies, where you would typically expect a year's stint as a management trainee, 6 months of sale, probably 6 months of rural internship. Yeah, you can call it that. Direct majuri nahi karna hai. That we skipped that part, and we were directly in the office and sitting with the big GMs and discussing brand level strategy. That way is good. But P&G, Unilever, Coca-Cola, like you mentioned, these are the companies which are most sought after in marketing. And what makes them the most sought after companies are they really groom you. They have a grow from within culture. They want the people who are joining at the entry level to go up the ladder, become the next brand manager, become the next marketing director. They have very little lateral hire. So if you can prove yourself, in your initial years, you can, probably set yourself on a path to a great career in marketing. So that is when P&G happened. So in P&G, I was initially handling skincare. So I was handling a very famous skincare brand called Olay. I had seen ads of Kajol and Katrina Kaif, at home, and these beauty products and this and that. So I never thought I'll be selling, beauty products. Now to get into the skin of women and understand कि भाई पूरा दिन आप क्या लगाते हैं, कैसे लगाते हैं, क्यों लगाते हैं.
कौन से देश के लिए था? Was it for India or the whole region or certain countries?
So it was for China and the rest of Asia. So how P&G defined their markets was basically based on the size of the market. So China was like a huge market for skincare, and in fact for most of the P&G products, just because of the sheer number of people there. and the rest of Asia, which primarily covered the India markets, the Indonesia markets, Korea, Japan, which are also, you know, very big markets for skincare. So designing was, so we had to have two different design. One design would be for the China market, other design would be for the rest of India market. So initially a lot of time was spent doing research in those countries. So I was lucky to visit China, the cities like Beijing, Shanghai, even tier 2 cities nearby those the metros in China, understand consumers, understand, you know, and at some level I felt that, you know, they're pretty much same to what I've been, you know, living in the middle class family, the upper middle class family in India. They are very much same when it comes to making those decisions, you know, कितना spend करना है, क्या मेरा budget है. It's just that there is a set of customer who chooses to spend disproportionately on a particular segment. Like if you are into skincare, तो मेरे बजट में से मैं थोड़ा ज़्यादा पैसा खर्च करूँगी to buy beauty products and then something else. So the consumer in China is different, consumer in India is different, the currencies were different, so we had to again factor in those things when we build our pricing and the cost structures.
So how did you communicate with the consumer there? Because I'm sure you would have had help with, you know, research assistants and agencies and teams, but this is a different culture. So skincare, how is it perceived by a Chinese woman? How is it perceived by a Korean woman? तो वो पता कैसे चला? Like how would you figure out?
इसमें कैसा है कि before like any person who is new into that role goes for the first hand research, there is already a lot of data which has been, you know, done by the past teams, the team before you have studied, and this is, you know, they have some insights. You are then going to build on that insight, that what has changed. So these are cycles which probably emerge from, you know, 5-year, 10-year का trends emerge करते हैं. So we have a lot of past data जो हम लोग पढ़ते हैं, which gives us a basic understanding of who the Chinese customer is. Now over a period of time there has been a shift. Now अभी के trend में अगर हम लोग देखें तो which are the places or which are the online channels where these people are looking for their information, probably because Facebook and Google are not there in China, so they have their own version like Weibo, WeChat, which were probably not there 10 years ago. So the marketing team 10 years ago would have a different kind of content strategy. So that changes. What are the small nuances? Because now the world is becoming more interconnected. So the Chinese, the average Chinese or the average Indian customer is now also more savvy. They know their stuff. You know कि इसमें क्या ingredient पड़ता है उनको पता रहता है. What is, you know, at times they know it better than us. You know, like aloe vera for example. इसमें aloe vera है, ginseng है. Ginseng is good for anti-aging, and you know, peach blossom is good for my skin and all of that. So they drink a lot of different varieties of tea, etc. So a lot of this is documented in these companies, and a lot of it you then build on when you talk to them. Language barrier, yes, of course, there was one of the biggest challenge when you go to these countries. So like absolutely, especially the kind of customers you are looking at. If they are the premium segment, they probably know English, but the middle class people who are like budget conscious, they might not know English. So of course you have your translators, but you can still, you know, have that feeling that that customer is, that the consumer is a bit anxious on what is the translation happening and whether am I being correctly translated. Then they interrupt and say, did you make sure that this is what I said? You know, so then we have to confirm them that, you know, you are on the right track, giving us the right answers, which will help us make this product better for you.
So what was your wow moment when you were working as a brand manager? Some campaign or something that you did that you really remember fondly?
In PNG, it's for every brand, like there is always a rival brand, you know, which we are looking at. Mostly comes from the stable of Unilever. For skincare, it comes from the stable of L'Oreal. Right. So the team there was always like wondering कि हम लोग कुछ भी plan करते हैं, कुछ भी project करते हैं, execute करने के लिए 1.5-2 साल निकाल देते हैं, और ये L'Oreal 6 महीने 9 महीने में पूरा launch करके go to market में भी चले जाता है. So what can we do different this time? You know, so at that time our team was working on a project which was a pre-essence. Like in skincare there are different like stages. There is a base, there's a face wash, then there is a base moisturizer, then there is an essence and a sunblock.
मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आता, but yeah.
It's maybe वही time पे clueless था. So then there was this product which fits between these two product categories called as a pre-essence, which gets your skin ready for the next stage. Right? This was something which does not exist in the market, but we know that it's a trend, and some मेरा कोई भाई L'Oreal में बैठा हुआ इस पे कुछ काम कर रहा होगा. Right? How do I beat him to it? So then we got the team together. We fast tracked some project approvals from the GM. Did some very quick R&D checks, some consumer checks, got the product ready, and I think we named the project. There are internal code names, right? So we named that project as Project Blitz. We rolled it out, in 9 months. So that was probably one of very few projects in PNG in skincare at that time, which was rolled out at such a short moment of time. My brand manager had left and gone to different role, and while the new incoming brand manager, there was this period of 2-3 months where I was like directly reporting to the marketing director. So a lot of decisions I was directly taking on this particular project, and it clicked, and our team got the most innovative project award for that particular quarter at the hands of the skincare GM from US. So like that was something which was a wow moment for me.
So Kiran, again, a lot of the Janta is going to be eagerly waiting to hear from you during the marketing festival as well. But for all those watching this video, what is that one message you want to leave all marketing aspirants watching this video with?
So I think marketing is something where I have mentioned this before. You need to trust your gut a lot. Your gut is there, and you have a lot of theories along with you. You will have that big book of Kotler which we study in IIM, where there are models, there are 4 P's, 7 C's, marketing mix, everything, which is fair. That will help you sharpen your saw. But what will give you the cutting edge is how strongly your gut reacts to any idea, and that idea could come from the most unimaginable of places.
कुछ example दे सकते हो आप इसके बारे में?
Yeah, I have 2 very classic examples in Apsara ice creams. So guava, अभी guava ऐसा कोई चमत्कारी fruit तो नहीं है, ये हमको सालों से पता है, right? So Apsara and many other brands which use this fruit to make ice cream have been making guava ice cream for so many years. Like we have also been making it. So this incident happened in somewhere in 2015 when I was at the Powai store. Like I was handling the store खुद से. And I had a bunch of people coming in, and they tried our fruit ice cream. They had the guava ice cream. At that time there was like it was just the guava ice cream. And they were just conversing. अरे बचपन का याद है अपन नानी के घर जाते थे और वो गुआवा वाला पेरू वाला आता था, काट के अपने के ऊपर मसाला डाल के देता था, क्या मज़ा आता ना, ये ऐसा होता था, कितना मज़ा आता है. Something like that they were discussing. And at that time I just had like one inspiration that can I put this kind of a masala on topping on my ice cream, So next day there was a bottle of masala at the counter. So like people are intrigued कि बॉस ये आइसक्रीम के दुकान में ये मसाला क्यों रखा है आपने. So then we tell them, sir, this is for our guava ice cream. Do you want to try? So we gave them a spoon of ice cream. We put the masala on top, and people are like looking कि मसाला डालेगा फिर कैसा लगेगा, and they have it, and that was like completely it was a wow moment for them कि ऐसा आइसक्रीम कभी खाया नहीं है और मसाला डाल. So at some point I thought the masala was overpowering than the guava. And that so over a couple of weekends I tried this experiment and saw what was the general reaction of people. Do they like this innovation, do they don't? Most of them were like blown away, and literally I saw a few Zomato reviews immediately mentioning that there is this masala on the ice cream. So that moment for me was like this thing is something which is a game changer. For a fruit ice cream to have just the humble masala, if I may call it, जो अपने घर पे रहता है, नमक और मिर्ची है mixed in some proportion. That's it. We rolled it out pan India. एक महीने में every store had this masala का bottle in their counter, and over the next 3 months, Guava Glory became, I think probably it was not even in the top 10. It became our best selling flavor. And from then till now, I think almost every customer is a fan of Apsara ka Guava Glory. I have had people where sometimes they ask for a guava ka delivery. If the staff forgets to pack the masala, they will send him back. Boss, guava ka masala क्यों नहीं दिया? He'll say, sir, आप घर से नहीं, आपका मसाला अलग है. So that is the kind of image, this small inspiration which came out of just one afternoon which I was there, and it has real business results. Correct. That's more important. It's not like just you got some 10 reviews or 15 mentions. Correct. Your business model changed completely. Now you have to think about a masala packaging and have those sachets, brandy sachets which we are going to launch, everything. So this was one inspiration. Second is so chocolate ice cream is something which almost every brand has. That's the second most popular flavor after vanilla. So all brands have a chocolate ice cream. Everybody used to call it Choco Bite, Choco Chips, Choco Cream. Even we used to call it as Choco Chips. The fact is that the kind of chocolate we use in that ice cream is like pure quality Belgian chocolate. Like that is known to be the ultimate variety of chocolate, and everybody knows it. But we were not calling it out.
Right.
So we changed the name of Choco Chips or Choco Bite to Belgian Bite.
Right.
Bas utna hi. The recipe was the same. The amount of chocolate which we were putting was the same. Everything was same. नाम change किया. Suddenly अरे कुछ नया आया लगता है. Everybody is like, oh, what happened? Belgian Bite try कराओ. Same ही चीज़ है. परसों ही खाया होगा. अरे दिखा टेस्ट कर. अरे mind blowing यार. ये authentic Belgian chocolate. I have never had something like it. ले फोटो ले. And that became the number 2 flavor. So no fancy R&D. No like going to some Brazil for checking cocoa beans की कौन सा है ये वो है. जो भी है वो standard market में Belgian cocoa मिल रहा है. नाम change किया सिर्फ. From Choco Bite to Belgian Bite, and that again change the sales of that particular flavor. So you don't always have to really rack your brains or see कि भाई follow a set template. You just in marketing you have to keep your eyes, ears, senses open. Ideas will come in any form. It could be a ringtone, it could be some visual, it could be some aroma, it could be anything. And if you have the right aptitude for identifying this, backed by your gut and of course eventually data, you will be able to make it into a scalable proposition. Whether in this kind of a rent, I as a company can make money because I have a better margin. But if I were to reduce the margin and give it to a franchise, will they be able to make money? Will they be profitable? Will they be able to sustain? So all of these things I was learning on the go. And once the model was fine-tuned, I think 2015 second half is when we started giving out third-party franchisees.